starting over at 50 was never actually the plan, but maybe it was the gift. Maybe it's something that I need to embrace a little bit more fully. Maybe we should all do it. I'm going to talk today about what I thought life would be in my 50s. Where's that crystal ball? The ways that we can embrace reinventing ourselves. My mother was the master at reinventing herself, so I want to channel that and maybe talk about one habit, one thing that keeps me on track, and maybe you'll be surprised about what that is. I am Liz. Welcome to Fab 50s Florida. I talk about all things related to moving from New York to Florida, all things related to reinventing ourselves in our 50s and beyond, and my love for Disney. And I definitely talk about my weight loss journey, trying to lose weight in my 50s during menopause. So if this sounds like something that you might be interested in, stick around and please join the community. So it's hard to say what you think your life might be like, right? I've never been that person who had a plan, had it all laid out, who thought, this is exactly how everything's going to go, and this is what my life is going to look like. By the time I'm 30, I'll have a house. By the time I'm 40, I'll have enough money to retire. That's just never really been who I am. I've just always been about moving forward and planning the best that I can. But I never really thought, what will my life look like in my 50s? However, I certainly did think, whether consciously or subconsciously, that I would be fit, that I would be healthy, that I would be able to move to Florida, ride my bike, go swimming, go kayaking, go doing the things that I wanted to do without the hip pain, without the joint pain, without the menopause, without the arthritis kicking in. That was never part of the equation, the pain. So I always thought that it would be a healthy and happy lifestyle, living with my pets, living with my animals. And I actually never really thought that I would live in Florida, but knowing that in the past few years I've thought about it, I for sure thought, I'm going to move to Florida, and I'm moving right near the West Orange Trail. So of course I'm going to be taking advantage of it. And of course I'm going to be out walking all the time. I'm going to be able to lose weight so much faster, so much easier than I can in New York, where I lived, where there were no sidewalks, where there was no trail like this, where of course I could get in my car and go somewhere where we had a lot of ability and availability of places to walk, but walking right outside of my door and doing it, I just didn't. And then of course the weather doesn't always cooperate. So my thought for my 50s was definitely to move here to Central Florida, embrace the heck out of being near the trail, being outside all the time, and losing weight pretty quickly. Guess what? Joke's on me, because I certainly did lose weight since I moved here. I lost about 20 pounds since moving here. Nothing to scoff at, right? That's great. That's a phenomenal achievement. However, I have a tremendous amount more to lose, and it's been stalled pretty hard. So I want to make sure that I'm kickstarting that and embracing my 50s and embracing the life that I thought I would have when I moved here. So that's certainly part of what I expected, to be healthy and not be in any pain and just be able to move and groove without thinking about it. And then menopause creeped in, and here we are. The other thing that I for sure thought was that financially I would be so much better off. And I'm not going to talk about numbers. I think that's very personal. I respect and appreciate people that do, because I don't think it's anything to be ashamed of. But I certainly thought that financially I'd be in a different position. So knowing that I have to continue to work is not something that really bothers me or upsets me. I actually never really plan on retiring. I love working. I love what I do. I love meeting people. I love helping people. So that's not the issue. The issue is just that I thought there would be a little bit more of a cushion. So we're working to build that cushion a little bit more. So maybe a lot more. And another thing that I for sure thought was that I'd live a little bit closer to my kids. And I wish that we were a little bit closer so I could see them more often. I always appreciate the time that I have with them, whether I go to New York to see them or they come down here. But boy, I miss having them. I miss just chatting with them about their day, chatting with them about nothing when we're making dinner. So I miss that. What about you? What are some expectations that you had for your life in your 50s and beyond? Maybe some that you have met, and maybe some that you didn't. What did you think that your life in your 50s would look like? Let me know. Secondly, I want to talk about reinventing yourself. Reinvention is just something that should be so embraced. It's a gift that we are given as humans to be able to reinvent ourselves all the time. Keep reinventing yourself. Keep changing up what it is that you want to do as far as a career, what you want to learn, what you want to eat. Change up areas that you walk. Change up people that you speak to. Relationships. Go and find a new friend, a new hobby. Go join a new organization. Literally reinvent yourself and just get out there. The world is so big, right? It's not just our little corner. We like to think that. We sort of stay stuck there sometimes. We're in the grind, the 9 to 5 every day, and then trying to just make it to the next day. And we don't necessarily look outside of that, right? The forest from the trees kind of thing. So reinvention is big. My mother was a legal secretary. She worked for big name law firms in the city. Bigwig, right? She worked for some really big names and was fantastic at it. She was a spitfire and she did it. And then she decided, you know what, I don't want to do it anymore. She started taking plumbing classes and she started taking electrical classes and building construction classes. We built our house in New York because of my mother in her 50s and 60s. Hello. Then she decided she was going to take courses on languages. My mom took Arabic. She took Polish. She took German. She's just always been such a lifelong learner and always wanted to just reinvent herself. She became a home health aide and helped people who were not able to help themselves. She's just always been the reinventor of life. So I embrace that too. Reinvent yourself. And if my move to Florida is a way for me to reinvent myself, I embrace that. Because when you reinvent yourself, especially if you move, you can kind of be whoever you want. Nobody here knows you from high school. Nobody here knows you from the PTA, from the local church. You are just new. You can be anyone you want to be. You want to be daring and embrace this new you. You want to start dressing differently, embracing new hobbies, and just living life differently. Do it. And you don't have to move to do it, but sometimes it's a little easier. So reinvention is a big part of my DNA, who I've always been, and I encourage everyone here to really think about reinventing themselves every single day. Learn something new. Reinvent yourself in a big way, in a small way, even in the tiniest ways. So let me know, what's one way that you plan on reinventing yourself, learning something new, stepping outside of your comfort zone? And thirdly, the one habit or routine that really just keeps me motivated, and if you've guessed it already, then kudos to you, it's YouTube. This has held me so accountable, helped me hold myself so accountable by recording every day. I have certainly missed a few days, especially with my mom passing away last week and me traveling back and forth to New York. That challenge is real. Again, these are excuses. If I'm committed to doing it every day, I need to do it every day. However, picking back up when we fall is also part of life. So this is one of those routines and those patterns that I just want to continue to create to build my best self in my 50s and beyond, when it comes to my health, when it comes to my weight loss, and when it comes to my actual strategy and my structure. So my diet, my exercise, my mindset, all of that, it all comes from those little habits. This is one of those little habits. Being here on YouTube, picking up the camera, recording, making sure that I'm holding myself accountable to what it is that I say I'm going to do. And when I fall down, I will be honest. I fell down and I'm picking myself back up. So that's one of the habits that I think is helping me. So what about you? What's a habit or a routine that might be helping you in your 50s, in your 60s, and beyond? Drop a comment and let me know what's one thing that you are doing, what's one thing that maybe you want to do, and what's something that maybe you need a little bit of support with. Love to hear it. Thanks again, everyone, so much for joining me today on Fab 50s Florida. If you got any benefit out of listening to me ramble today about me reinventing myself in my 50s and how you can too, please like, subscribe, join the community, and for sure, leave a comment and tell me what it is that you're going through, what it is that you might need a little bit of support with, a little cheerleading to get accomplished, and let's all support each other. And part of the beauty of reinvention is that you get to have this as your daily walk in the morning, every day. It's actually breathtaking.